Question 11. Distance from the Earth to the Sun is this. The light travels at this miles per second. Work out the length of time it takes for the light to travel from the Sun to the Earth. Give your answer in minutes and seconds. So it's got to travel this many, so this is question 11, this many miles. So if you divide that then by this, that will tell us how many seconds it takes. Which gives us 500. So then if we divide 500 by 60, that will tell us how many minutes we've got. It's 8.3 recurring. So that means that implies then we've got 8 minutes. And a third, 0.33 means a third, so 8 minutes and 20 seconds for number 11 there. Question 12. Ben bought a car for £12,000. Each year the car depreciated by 10%. Work out its value 2 years after he bought it. Now you can either do this manually, which is fine. Personally I prefer to use compound interest. So it means every compound interest problem. Every year it drops 10%. So your percentage multiplier will be 90% each year. And I'm going to square it because there's been 2 years gone. Like I said, you can do it manually by taking 10% off and get your answer then 10% again, which is fine unless it asks for something after 10 years. Then this is the method you need to do. You then get your answer as £9,720. B. It's like also bought 2 years ago. It do depreciate by 10% each year. The car is now worth £8,100. Work out the original cost of Susie's car. So she bought 2 years ago. So what would you then do? Well, you'd say originally, or how it started, that was 90%, and that was £8,100. So to get back to 100% after the first year, then you would divide by 90, which would then give you £90, and then times by 100, so it's back to £9,000. That's after the first year. Then that is actually 90% of what it originally was previously. So divide by 90 again. This time gets you 100, and then times by 100. Which then gets you £10,000 of its original value. Question 13. A. Write down a letter of the line which is parallel to y equals x minus 5, which telling you that the gradient is 1. So we're wanting the other value where the x coefficient is 1, which is this one. So the first one then will be R. B. Write down the letter of the line that's perpendicular. So perpendicular means the opposite gradient. Well, the gradient of this is 2. So the opposite gradient will be the reciprocal with a minus. So the reciprocal obviously will go over. So it's 1 over 2 and the minus there. So which one has that? It's this one here, which is S. C part 1. Write down the coordinates of the point where the line y equals 2x plus 5 cuts the y-axis and cuts the x-axis. Well, it cuts the y-axis here, because this is the y-intercept. So part 1 is fairly straightforward. The other way of doing that, if you're never sure, is if you sub 0 into there, x is 0, then you just get y equals 5. When it crosses the x-axis is when y equals 0. So if I set that equal to 0, take your 5 over, so 2x equals minus 5, divide by 2, which then give you x equals minus 2.5. so it's minus 2.50. Question 14. Got Sally and Bob buy some fruit. So Bob buys oranges and bananas. So I'm going to change the oranges to R, just because I don't like using O, because it looks like a 0. So I'm going to use R as oranges. So 5R plus 2 bananas equals £2. So I'm going to put them in pence. And Sally buys 2R, which is 2 oranges, plus 3 bananas, and gets 135 pence for that. Work out the cost of 1 orange and 1 banana. You can do this through trial, but what I prefer to do is equate them. So if I make R the same, what I'm going to do that is times this by 2 and times this all by 5. So times this all by 2 will then give me 10R plus 4B equals 400, and times the bottom by 5. Now we've then made them the same. And then we're going to take one away from the other. That take that, 11B. That take that is 275. So B then is 275 divided by 11, which is 25 pence. What you then do is pick one of your values here. So let's pick, say, the first one, because B is just slightly smaller. So in 1, we'll then give 5R plus 2 lots of 25 equals 200. So 5R plus 50 equals 200. Take your 50 off. 5R equals 150. Divide by 5. R then is 30p. So you've then got your two values. You've got your B, which is your bananas. Your bananas are 25p. And then your oranges are 30p. Question 15. Calculate the size of angle BAC. So we're looking for this angle in here. So this is 15I. Size of angle BAC. Right, so angles in a semicircle equal 90 degrees, so that implies then, because this is a semicircle, that ABC is 90 degrees. And then we've got angles in a triangle equal 180, so that implies the angle that we're after, which is BAC, is 180. Take off 90 and take off 27, and once you've done that, you'll then get 63 as your answer. Part 2 then. Calculate angles of BCE, give reasons for your answer. Well, a tangent is 90 degrees to the centre. So that implies then that ACE equals 90. So therefore, if we're looking for this angle in here, then BCE is what we're after, will be 90 take off 27, which then gives us 63 degrees.